Okay, today we're going to start out with moving some of the HP internals from the Z400 out, and we're going to try and get them fit into our new Rosewill case. So here we're going to start out with the power supply. And we'll find out real quick that HP does not use standard mounting alignments, but we'll make it work. So we'll get this power supply out and we'll get it into our Rosewill case the best that we can. Let's take a look. HP also doesn't use standard ATX pinouts, so do not try to use a regular power supply. You might burn out your board. There are tutorials online on which pinout to use if you did want to use a standard ATX power supply. It is possible, but you will need to modify the 24-pin connector. Okay, so we can see here it just doesn't quite fit because of these little rails here. So we can take out these screws and knock this panel out, and then it should fit. So let's do that. Okay, so we took those screws out here, and we got this little bracket, and now our power supply should fit right in there. Will it line up? We will have to see. So in perfect HP fashion, obviously none of these screws on the power supply line up with a standard power supply mounting. So we've got this one just on the outside. This one's in a hole, but it's in there pretty good. It'll have to do for now. Let's hope HP didn't mess around too much with the mounting holes on the motherboard. That would suck. I can already see they're non-standard screws. They are a hex, so let's get this out. So of course the HP hardware layout is not standard. We're going to be missing one screw up here, but it looks like we can just squeeze most of these in. Okay, so it looks like we are out 2 screws. That's going to be this one right here and the one up in this corner. Otherwise, they've all kind of jammed in. It is pretty secure. I'm not going to worry about it. I know it's HP's BS. So let's see when we get everything plugged in. The next thing we'll have to worry about is the power button and all of that. temperature sensor. And then these are the power, HDD light, and the button. So the button is the two whites. Green and white is the hard drive LED. So I think we could figure this out. Power switch on here is the two whites, which are power light. So we'll find the power LED. It's going to be one of these. Okay, power LED right here. And power LED on here is red and black. Red and black is 1 and 2. We're just going to go for it. And then right on top of that is going to be green and white, which is going to be hard drive LED. So let's find HDD LED. That's this guy. Okay, so for the most part, everything is wired up. We disassembled our HP connection brick right here and we put new connections in. We just grabbed some of these. We just pulled out the wires from the brick and used these ones so that they're connected. The temperature sensor's connected. I don't know how well you can see that. I have not plugged in power to the hard drives yet. I just want to power it on, make sure everything powers on. So that's what we're gonna do now. We've got our power here. Okay, green light. We'll head to the front. And we will push power. This graphics card fan is not doing so hot. Okay, but we have power. We have no power LED that I can see, so what we'll do is we'll just swap the power LED around and okay, so we just went down in here and we swapped that red and white there. We swapped these two right here. Okay, there we have a power LED. Perfect. And then once the hard drives are plugged in, we'll also get our hard drive LED. The front USBs don't work because this one only has a USB 3 header. So the HP is complaining that our front I/O is not plugged in and it will not let the server boot without having to press F1. Not acceptable. So we're going to extract this, and once it's extracted we will just plug it into the chassis there and just let it hang inside. Okay, so we pulled our front I/O from the HP machine and we still have the ends for it, so we're just gonna plug these in and we'll plug in a rear fan so that it will stop complaining and boot up. We'll be back when we've done that. Okay, so we got our front panel connector in. Those are the connections right there, and we're just gonna let it kind of hang out in here. We'll double side tape it down and so it doesn't move around and touch anything it's not supposed to touch. Okay, so here's our panel USB. It's double-sided taped in there. We've got our chassis fans to the overhead bar. We're blowing pretty good air. We've still got everything connected. And it should not complain. And it doesn't. Perfect. So, we're up and running. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week. Bye.